In today's video, we are cooking some shrimp and grits on our Monument Grill's gas grill, and it is a flavor profile that you don't want to miss. Let's get started. Now the first step is we got to get our water. We got 6 cups of water right here in the pot. We got to bring this not to a boil, but we got to warm it up. So I've got my pellet grill running at 200 degrees, and I'm going to set this right over the fire pot here. We're going to let that sit until it starts not bubbling again. We're not going for a boil, but then we're going to add our grits in and mix them in slow so that we get a nice consistency. Nobody likes lumpy grits. So we started out on the pellet grill. It was taking a little bit of time. So we're gonna do everything on the gas grill today, from cooking the grits to the shrimp to everything in between. But if you check out here, we've got this water. This is about 6 cups of water. We have it in a nice simmer. You can see the steam coming out. So now we're gonna take our stone ground grits, which are here from locally in South Carolina, and we're just going to whisk them in slowly. We don't want any lumpy grits, and we definitely don't want any instant grits. No self-respecting Southerner is gonna use instant grits. I'm just gonna whisk that away. We're using about a 1 3/4 cups of grits. I'll have all the measurements on my website for the recipe here, but we're just gonna constantly keep an eye on this, make sure that they're stirring, because these grits are gonna tighten up a little bit, and then we're gonna mix together our cream and cheese and butter and all that stuff, along with some hot sauce to add a nice vinegar base to it. But I'm just gonna keep my eye on this and keep stirring, make sure we don't get anything lumpy going. It's been about 20 minutes. Let's check on them and see how they look. You can already see that the steam's coming off, and it has thickened up greatly. Thickened up a lot. We got the kind of the consistency we want. Now I have my 50-50 mixture of milk and heavy cream, and we're just gonna whisk that in with it as well and get this nice creamy consistency. And if you want this to go even faster, you can have this already simmering. I didn't, I just left it out, but I'm gonna keep stirring this up a little bit more, maybe about another 10 minutes or so, and then we're gonna add our cheese, our butter mixture to make it even better. If you wanna come in, you can see that we've got a nice, good consistency. The cream has mixed in well. It's thickening up a lot. We're gonna mix in our butter and our cheeses now. First, we got some grated cheese, Vermont cheddar right here, freshly grated today. Oh, gotta get all of it in there. Parmigiano Reggiano right here. Mix that in. And this is all just gonna make it thicken up even a little bit more. We got some butter right there. And just for a little added spice, we got some red clay hot sauce that we're going to mix in there. Give it a little kick. That should be good. And I'm gonna mix all that together. And we're gonna let that thicken up even more. This is just gonna give it a nice consistency, especially for those shrimp that we're gonna be firing up, all 44 of them, and it's just gonna layer the flavor. And we got one more thing, because we are dealing with a lot of starch today, we gotta add some more salt just to make sure that we get it in there a lot. So I got my electric salt grinder here, and we're gonna be adding this Himalayan sea salt in. You can find this grinder on my website as well. And just keep stirring it in. Beautiful. Now we've got the consistency that we're looking for, and you got to remember that, again, these are going to tighten up, they're going to thicken up once we remove them from the heat. But I like where we're at, so let's do the spoon test. Dip it in there. Do the line. It's holding. And I'm just going to give it a quick test. It's hot, but it's good. Now, while these are still thickening up, we have got our cast iron here on the side burner, blazing hot. We're gonna make our sauce next. And we gotta layer the flavor. We can't just dump everything in there like we did with the grits. This one, we're gonna sweat out the onions a little bit, then we're gonna throw some garlic on there, then some butter, and then we're gonna throw some beer on there for an acid to kind of break it up a little bit. First up, we gotta add some olive oil. Just about a tablespoon or so, should be good. Now we're gonna take our red onion. This is about 3/4 of a red onion here. And we're gonna pour that in. And we're just gonna sweat these onions. We're not gonna cook them all the way through. We're not gonna get them all the way translucent because we just, again, wanna layer the flavor. Next, when these are just done, we're gonna throw in that garlic, throw in some sriracha or some hot sauce, some beer, mix it all together with some butter. It's gonna be like a butter sauce that we're making that's just gonna add a whole nother flavor profile to these grits. This grill does it all, but come and check it out. You can see that we're just sweating these out a little bit. They're just starting to get translucent. Now it's time to add the garlic. And when you think you've added enough garlic, add a little bit more because we're layering the flavor here. And we're gonna let this sweat out for just another couple minutes. We've got some great color. Now we're gonna add some of this red clay hot sauce in here as well. We're gonna mix that in there, give it a nice little kick. And just when you think it's burning, right before, we're gonna add that Blue Moon. Now we're gonna take our Blue Moon for that acid part. You could use white wine as well, but we're gonna be using our Blue Moon today. And we're gonna be doing about 66%, which gives us about a third to drink for the rest of us. Just mix that in. Perfect. Mix that around. We're gonna let this reduce a little bit more. Then we're gonna add our butter in, maybe a little bit of the heavy cream, and make a nice butter sauce. Again, layering the flavor here. Like I said, 1/3 for yourself. Our grits have kind of finished. I'm gonna take them off the heat, and we're gonna place them over here on our ThermoWorks pad, and we're gonna let those thicken up just a little bit longer. I don't think we've ever done a full cook outside before, the whole thing. Of course, I did a little prep inside, but I think outside, it's a nice day. We've got some big, bold flavors here. We got the tanginess of the onions, the beautiful acidity of the beer, and you can see that it is reduced down perfectly. So now we're just gonna add in our pads of butter, and we're just gonna do one at a time until they melt down. This is unsalted butter, by the way. And we're just gonna melt that down, then add a second and a third to make a nice butter sauce to add that layer of flavor. Then we're gonna grill these shrimp. Now come check this out. We put in all the pads of butter. We're gonna let this reduce just a little bit more, but we've got layers and layers of flavor. So good, smells amazing. Now I got these shrimp from Publix today, and they're $31.35 farm-raised shrimp, but they are deveined, and I went ahead and peeled them, but I left some of them have the tail still on, some of them don't, just depending on how they peeled. But we're doing that just to kind of help give you a little grip when you're dipping it into the grits. So the first flair stack that we're gonna do is the Smoky Dust Hen and Fin rub. And we're gonna give a good dusting of that across all these shrimp. This is about 44 shrimp right here, almost 2 pounds. And then our second layer to, again, add a little bit of heat. We're doing the best garlic jalapeno rub by Cosmo Q. This stuff is some of my favorite rub that I have. I use it quite often. And we got the seasoned side. We're gonna lay that side down first, just across like that, so that we can get the backside seasoned as well. And the shrimp are still grilling. We're getting a nice char on each side, but check out this sauce. It has reduced beautifully. I did a taste test off camera, and I added just a little bit more hot sauce because I like things with a little kick on it, but it is very flavorful. This nice butter sauce that we're gonna add right on top of the shrimp once we add those on top of the grits. They've been cooking about 6-7 minutes, but let's come in. You want to see the char on the other side. That's what we got, a little nice beautiful caramelization across. We're gonna flip these. Oh yeah, perfect. And then get that juice right on top of that as well. Beautiful cook. So some of these are cooking a little faster than others, and we want to have them all come out at the same time. So you're just going to take your skewer and stack it just like that. Nice grilling tip, still gives you a lot of grill estate, real estate for your grill, but we're just going to stack it so that we don't overcook it, but it's not going to get much more caramelization like these beauties right here already have. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. We'll just stack it and close the lid and wait a few more minutes. These have cooked long enough. We've got beautiful caramelization across the board here. Gorgeous looking shrimp, lots of flavor. Now, let's take these bad boys and layer up a bowl of our shrimp and grits. Again, it feels kind of weird. We haven't really been in our kitchen much. Look at these beautiful grits. They have thickened up beautifully. So we're gonna take some of those and we're just gonna layer it in here. Then we're gonna add the shrimp and the sauce right on top of that. We're just gonna take some of the shrimp right off the skewer here. 1, 2, we'll go 5. That looks good. Some red onions, beer, garlic. And we're just gonna pour that right over the top. A little bit goes a long way with this. You don't need a ton. And then we're gonna top it all off. Some freshly chopped Italian parsley. Nice pop of color. And that right there is how you make shrimp and grits. Like I said, I'll put the tail on because I'm gonna dive in. Look at that, we got everything in there. Wow, that is so good. The shrimp has a nice zest to it with the lemon and the garlic. There's just a little bit of heat. The butter sauce adds a nice layer to the grits, which are already cheesy and delicious. Oh my God. This is gorgeous. What a beautiful meal that you can share with your friends and family. I did it all on my grill. Most of it's done in your kitchen. If you don't have a grill access like me, do it in your kitchen on your hot box there. This is how we make shrimp and grits on the Monument Grills, 4-burner, Clearview, Mesa, whatever they call it. Until next time, make sure you eat well, you do well, you serve really good food like this. Check out my website, grillmarkco.com for the full recipe. We'll see you next time.